Yep. 11:44. Item 12. Code 4. 11:44. Alright, just don't touch anything, but it looks like a lot of pills. Oh, wait, no. There's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Can't really tell for slice marks.
At almost noon on October 25th, 2018, San Luis Obispo County Sheriff and Grover Beach Police arrived at a condominium on South 9th Street. It was meant to be a standard welfare check, not a setting for one of the most chilling crimes in the town's history. A single mom of one was found dead in her home in what looked like a botched robbery. They'd received a call from the staff at California Men's Colony, where 64-year-old nurse Athena Valentini worked. The facility had been worried that one of their most diligent staff had not shown up for her shift, called, and wasn't even answering her phone. So they had to send local authorities to carry out the welfare check. Upon entering her residence and calling out her name to no avail, they find her lifeless body in bed with blood on the floor and bed. They called for the coroners to be brought to site, and they found that Athena had been stabbed multiple times and her throat slit. They found some mess that might have been due to a scuffle with her assailant. However, since the detectives didn't have to forcefully enter her home, they concluded that whoever did this didn't break in through the door. Moreover, there were also no signs of burglary or forced entry. There were also no fingerprints on site, no ransacked drawers, closets, or missing valuables. The murder weapon was not found at the scene. Her mails were all on the table, clothes left unattended, and purse intact. It was as though whoever did it had one thing on their mind: make sure she didn't go to work the next day.
Because she's the one that gave us the full rundown of how she keeps everything locked. The dog out front when she goes to work. She knew half of her license plate number.
The neighbor knows a lot about her. It says that when she goes to work, she leaves the dog outside in the patio area here.
So it was confirmed that she was at work yesterday from 06 to 1400.
1400 yesterday afternoon?
Yeah.
Was she supposed to be at work today?
Yeah. That's how we ended up out here.
Okay. What time is she supposed to be at work today?
I got, what was told to me was at 0730 that she was no contact and a no-show.
She usually leaves her dog, her little beagle, out in the front.
And it's a little beagle, you said?
Yeah, little beagle. I think that's the brand. It's a little brown dog. She's about 9 or 10 years old. And she's very well behaved.
And usually when she leaves for work, she leaves the dog on the front porch until she gets home.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
I'll give you a call if we need any more information.
Okay.
But then, something notable was missing from her house. Her dog, which the neighbors confirmed was always by her side. From what the neighbors told the officers, it was very unusual for her dog not to be by the house if Athena was home. This meant that if a stranger had come into the house to attack her, the dog must have barked and raised an alarm. But strangely, the neighbors never heard any shouting or loud noises.
You didn't see her last night or anything?
No.
Did you hear any fighting or anything like that? Any loud noises?
No, because I work till 9 o'clock. And
Okay.
And she never left the truck in there. She always put his car inside of the garage. But last night,
So she never does? She never...
leave. She put on the day, but on the night she always put inside of the garage. And
Oh, I get it.
Last night is there.
Other than that, did you see anybody around
No.
other than her?
No.
What kind of dog does she have?
It's a small yellow one, small dog.
Like a Chihuahua?
Kind of Chihuahua. It's a little bigger than Chihuahua.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
All right.
something wrong with it.
Yeah, she passed away. So we're trying to figure out some stuff. So that's why we're there. Okay, well, if you remember anything or anybody in your house remembers anything from last night, can you have them give me a call?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
This was a mysterious thing indeed, as the neighbors in the other units didn't hear or see anyone in the time that the police believe the attack took place. Again, could this mean that the perpetrator knew her, had access, and had enough time to slip out unseen? The investigators secured the scene and began their initial search for evidence, but already they knew this was not random. This wasn't some opportunistic home invasion. It was targeted, vicious, and intimate, as though carried out by a professional hitman, with how they seemed to have left little to no trace behind. As the coroner zipped up the body bag and carried her body away, neighbors peeked from their porches in disbelief with some sense of fear. One question started to form in their minds: who would do this to Athena Valentini, and why? You see, Athena worked in California's most secure facilities, the California Men's Colony, where she had served since 2013 as a licensed vocational nurse after joining the Department of Corrections in 2011. Working inside a maximum security prison meant that she was daily exposed to emotional and physically volatile situations, so detectives first thought to contact her workplace to know if she was ever involved with anyone, colleague or inmate, who would want her dead. However, their investigations towards that quickly hit a roadblock, as she reported getting along with everyone at work pretty well, with some colleagues describing her as a sweet soul with a gentle smile.
She was a sweetheart, and that she didn't deserve what happened to her.
These remarks tell of a woman who was a graceful person, despite her tough life challenges. Athena was born around 1954 in Hungary, where she got married and had a son. Sadly, 3 years into her blissful marriage, her husband died of a heart attack. Shortly after the death of her husband, Athena faced hostility from her husband's parents regarding the custody of her little son, and because the Hungarian laws allow for grandparents to lay claim to their grandchildren in case of death to their children, Athena immigrated to the United States with her son to protect the one thing that she holds dear from her marriage. In 1997, Athena and her son moved to Los Angeles, where she raised him as a single parent until she found love with a man named John Corwin, who helped raise her son. They were together for a while until Corwin passed away in 2013. But before he died, he left a financial safety net for Athena's son, Levente, providing security for him as he grew up in a new country. Levente also dreamt of being a historian, but Athena wanted him to study medicine. Levente would also eventually study history at Indiana University in Bloomington, miles away from his mother, who was now living in California, and this was against Athena's wish. But she still loved and supported her son. At work in California's Men's Colony, Athena was respected and went about her duties diligently, never getting involved with any form of scandals or crimes. But then, Athena was known in the neighborhood for always speaking up against trespassing.
You know anybody that might want to harm her?
Well, I know that she was very upset, as we all are, about the homeless and this latest guy who calls himself a minister. He left leaflets about 4 months ago about joining his organization. They call themselves a church, but we don't really know that they are. Pink slips. If I still have it, I'll drop it off for you. And he was talking about putting showers in for the homeless and expanding the help to the homeless, which makes us nervous because not all of them, but many of them are drug addicts.
Yeah.
And I've had things stolen every few months from my car, from my parking lot over. I help out at the Catholic Charity Shamrock Thrift Store.
Okay.
And I've had some plants and planters stolen many times. And Dave had his truck stolen out of his garage. And right after that, someone called and ordered a pizza to Dave's house. And he was at work, works till about 1 a.m. And they waited in the bushes and they beat up the pizza guy and stole his money and his pizza. And that was pretty frightening, so we started re-landscaping so we don't have any bushes.
Apparently, the neighborhood had had some disturbances from homeless people who have stolen and harassed residents, but the one person neighbors have said was at the forefront of getting rid of them was Athena. Homeless people might cause a nuisance, but they aren't known to carry out organized crimes. With her background and testimonies from neighbors now in, it was time to hear from the deceased woman's son. But first, the police had to break the news to him, so the police department at Grover Beach reached out to the local PD in Bloomington to make a death notification to Levente. But the experience with Levente wasn't as one would imagine.
Venti Lazar.
Okay, is Miss Valentini your mother?
Yes.
Can I step in and speak to you, please?
My girlfriend lives here, but sure.
Is it, you live here with her, though?
Yeah, she's here and a dog.
Okay, would you mind if I come in?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Come on.
Thank you. Puppy. He's on. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. I was contacted this afternoon by the St. Louis Obispo County Sheriff's Department or District Attorney's Office. I don't remember which one.
Okay.
Your mother's passed away. Very, very sorry for that, obviously.
What happened?
I don't know. They didn't really give me any details. They just asked that we come and make a notification to you.
Okay.
And then have you get in touch with them.
510
Mm-hmm.
604
604
6762. Is that correct, Hannah?
I'll check.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I just changed it like a week ago or 2 weeks ago because I've been getting prank calls.
When was the last time you spoke with your mom?
On Monday, and I've been calling her, and it goes straight to voicemail, and then the voicemail says it's full.
Okay.
But she's been having a tough time with her phone. I thought maybe it was a phone issue.
Okay.
Is that correct, Hannah?
510-604-6762.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right, that's okay. That's all right. Do you have any questions for me?
I figured that he would have more answers.
He's gonna know more. Just
okay.
Obviously very sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Sorry to have to bring bad news to you.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much.
The officer's first impression was that Levente didn't seem surprised or devastated at the passing of his mom. But one thing was evident from their conversation. Levente was willing to cooperate to find whoever had done such a thing to his mom. Also, according to him, the last time he had spoken to his mother was earlier in the week. Keep this in mind for what's to come. The lead investigator, Detective Matthew Goodwin, and his partner on the case, Casey Neal, discovered that Athena's phone was missing, but the charger was left plugged in. So they decided to have a warrant to go through her phone records to know who she had been in touch with in the weeks leading up to her death. But this was going to take a few days. In the meantime, detectives from Grover Beach were finally able to talk to Levente over the phone. They asked him about his relationship with his mother and the last time he saw her. Levente told them how much he loved her and the sacrifices that she made in helping him become the man he is, and that he hadn't seen his mother in months, although they were constantly communicating over the phone. However, during the detectives' interrogations with Athena's neighbors, they claimed to have heard Athena go in with her dog after arriving from work and heard her talking to someone later that evening, who she assumed was her son, as the pair conversed in their native Hungarian language.
Hello, Sergeant Ravina, Grove Beach PD. I'm trying to get a little more information on your neighbor here at the first department. When's the last time you've seen her and talked to her?
It was probably 2 days ago, and I think I heard her either last night or the night before.
You heard her?
Yeah, she was talking to someone in Hungary, and I think it was her son.
Oh, on a phone or something like that?
No, in person.
Okay.
To verify these claims, the detectives turned to the CCTV tapes of the camera in front of Athena's home. The footage shows Athena arriving in her car, going back to pick something up, before heading to the house. The motion-activated camera also captured Athena running errands throughout the day, and at no point did anyone approach her or confront her. But as they dug deeper into the CCTV footage, they found a clip of a strange man walking into Athena's residence, and quite strangely, accompanied by her dog. This was proof that indeed, Athena had a guest whom her dog was friendly to the night before her death, which could have been the assailant. Seeing that this strange figure walked northbound on 9th Street, the detectives followed that path in search of other cameras that could have captured the person's face. They searched the buildings alongside the road and found the Exploration Discovery Center had a good quality surveillance camera. They saw the person walking and Athena's dog walking closely behind, without a leash. Earlier footage from during the day also caught a figure that matched the height and build of the mysterious person from Athena's house. The detectives concluded that this was the same person who was at Athena's residence at the time that the murder was committed. However, the footage didn't quite capture the face of the said assailant. While all these things were going on, they received Athena's phone records from the service provider and got a list of numbers that had contacted Athena in the week leading up to her death, but a phone number stood out. This strange number only started calling Athena a few days before her death. Again, according to the phone records, Athena was on a call with this number at the time that the CCTV footage outside of the Exploration Discovery Center caught that figure walking toward the house. Further information reveals that her son called her a couple of hours before she received the first call from this strange number. The police assumed that her son probably had something to do with this, but since he had claimed that he was in Indiana at the time of the murder, they needed more than a hunch to conclude that this was in fact his mother's killer. So they tracked the number to a burner phone. Usually, burner phones are sold pre-packaged with a SIM, meaning that whoever buys them doesn't have to register their personal information with the network provider, and they are bought with cash. But here's the thing. Most of the stores where you can buy these phones have CCTV cameras installed. The detectives then tracked the phone to the place where it was purchased. The phone was found to have been bought at a Best Buy store a few minutes away from where Levente stayed. The dots were connecting, but they needed to know for sure if he was the one who went in and made a purchase himself. They sent for the store's CCTV on the day that the purchase was made. Here, the surveillance footage shows Levente going into the Best Buy on the afternoon of the 22nd of October. It also showed him leaving the store with what detectives believed was the burner phone. Levente had been a model citizen up until this case, so the detectives' minds ran wild with assertions. Still, they followed that digital trail of this burner phone and the mystery figure that emerged around 11 p.m. on the night that Athena was murdered. The burner phone was activated 2 hours later. A single call was made from it to no other number than Athena's before it was turned off. Even though burner phones are marketed for anonymity, cell towers still log their movements. Luckily, the spreadsheet about the phone contained precise longitude and latitude locations of the towers it pinged. The detectives then got a warrant to obtain Levente's phone records to see which cell towers it pinged that week. 2 days after the phone was activated, a cell phone tower in Oklahoma pinged its location, several hundred miles from where it was first activated. Eventually, detectives found out that the phone pinged the same cell towers as Levente's cell phone from Oklahoma to Grover Beach, California. Minutes after her murder, the same burner phone was tracked, transmitting next to Athena's phone on Grand Avenue, which explains why her phone wasn't found in her house. Then, after the murder, the prepaid phone and Athena's phone went silent, not forgetting her dog, which remained missing. What had started as an anonymous number was now a direct, documented link to Athena's final moments and her only son. And for lead investigator Matt Goodwin and Detective Casey Neal, that connection would open the door to a chilling theory, one that would explain not only how Athena was killed, but why. The evidence was damning, but it was still circumstantial. To close the gap between suspicion and certainty, Detective Case Neal needed to hear it from Levente himself. He then went to the Bloomington Police Department to interview Levente, who had been very cooperative, perhaps with the confidence that they wouldn't find anything on him. And he obliged, 2 weeks after the death of his mother. They had been having casual chats, but Casey knew the stakes were higher this time around. The young man's story was either an explanation that would set him free, or a slip-up that would end any chance of walking out of this mess.
I wanted to first again extend my condolences.
Thank you.
This is a very difficult
thing
to deal with, and I just wanted to let you know that we all wanted to extend our condolences and work very hard on this case.
Thank you.
It's very difficult losing a parent. I've lost one as well. Well, I did want to give you more information now about what we found out in California.
Okay.
And I got a copy of your mom's trust stuff, so I hope I give you that today.
Okay.
And you can look through it. Just real quick, so in order to share this stuff with you and talk to you about it, I had to give you an advisement because we're in a police department. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you have the right to present an attorney before and during any question if you wish. You can afford one. One can be appointed for you free of charge. Okay?
I understand.
Sorry, that's just a formal advisement.
I understand.
With the formalities out of the way, it was time for the gloves to come off. The detectives wanted to know Levente's financial state.
There was kind of a stipend laid out for me. So between 2010 and 2013, I would receive about $15,000 a year.
Okay.
So I didn't have to work when I was in college, basically. I was very lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 2017, I received $90,000. And I paid off most of my student debt there. I put most of it in my savings, opened up an IRA account, started trading, kind of looking long term. And then I have another one final payment of $200,000. Not exactly $200,000. It's $200,000 and change. In 2022 when I'm 30. Not when I'm 30, but July 5th, 2022. So after my birthday. I think very much into the future. I have a 3, 5, 7, and 10-year plan. And it's not really something that I execute, like bullet point down, but it's just a general idea. It's like a direction.
Levente received substantial compensation from his mother's late boyfriend and had a detailed financial plan for the next couple of years, including the amount he needs to earn to remain financially stable. While this was out of the way, he wanted to know about his whereabouts on the day his mother was killed.
Your mom, I believe she was attacked and killed on the 24th of October.
What day is that?
That was
Wednesday.
Thursday. So let me look at calendar.
Because I don't know the dates.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Sure. So, yeah, so it was Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. So you talked to her on Monday, right?
Yes.
And then you went to Indianapolis on Tuesday. It was the 23rd.
Correct.
Okay, so then Wednesday is when I believe she was killed.
Okay, and she texted me.
And she texted you on
Thursday.
Thursday, on the 25th.
Yes.
At 9 p.m. Okay. And then you've been in Bloomington since then?
Yeah, or just like a nearby area. So when Monday, the day I spoke to her, I've been in like 100-mile range.
Of your house?
Yeah, of Bloomington.
Okay.
Levente was unaware of the phone records showing that he wasn't in fact within a 100-meter radius of Indiana in the week that his mother passed away. So he confidently mentioned that she even texted him on Thursday the 23rd, a day after she had been killed. But the detective allowed him to push the narrative about his whereabouts to see what else they could find out about the man.
I was able to get records for all your recent people that have called your mom.
Okay.
And so your number was one of them on the 22nd.
Yeah.
So they came back with those records when I asked from AT&T.
Okay.
And so they showed your phone going to Springfield, Missouri on the 23rd, I believe. 22nd, 23rd. Can you help me explain that?
Not Missouri. I went to Mount Vernon in Missouri. But that was, I'm sorry, in Illinois.
I thought that was Illinois,
Yeah, but that's as far as I went. I didn't go to Missouri that day.
Oh.
Or that week.
Really?
Missouri was the earliest time I was in Missouri was in June.
Okay.
Of this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the only phone you have?
That's the only phone I had. I had this in January of last year.
Huh. And the other curious thing is, so on the 25th, your phone is showing up in Texas, and it tracks all the way back to your house from Texas.
I was not in Texas. Last time I was in Texas was when I moved out here.
Oh.
It was 2015 because I drove here.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I looked at your phone records, what I did was I looked at the other callers that called your mom, okay, and I found another Cincinnati, Ohio number that looks like it was traveling with your phone to your mom's house. And
I don't have another phone either.
Yeah, well, so when I looked at that and I put the two records together,
Oh, I understand.
I have a map from your house to your
Texas.
mom's house.
Oh, to my mom's house.
Correct.
Okay.
With those two phones, it maps directly from your house on the 22nd to your mom's house on the 24th.
I can promise you, I was not.
Okay.
I was not in California.
After allowing ramble about his whereabouts, Casey then explains to him that not only was his phone tracked all the way from his home in Bloomington to his mother's house in California, but he also packed a second phone that he had used to contact his mother. And from his reactions, you could see that this bit of information caught Levente by surprise, and he quickly adjusted his seat into a stance of defense. While he was still insisting that he never went to Texas, let alone California, the detective reminded him about what he had said about having just one car, a Jeep Patriot, and what they discovered about that, too.
They have what's called a license plate reader.
Okay.
Okay. And when a license plate gets scanned on that as you're driving down the road, it takes a picture of your car. Okay. And the picture it took in Texas and in Arizona and in California is a picture of your car.
I was not in California this year. Except in January.
Okay, listen to me, Levente.
I'm listening.
Okay. All those records clearly show it was your Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's video surveillance cameras on your mom's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did not.
The video surveillance cameras show you going into your mom's apartment when she was murdered. Okay. So what I'm here to do today to talk to you is about, I already know that you're the one that went there. Okay. I need you to help me understand why you did this to your mom.
I didn't do anything to my mom.
Levente, it's clear to me. There's clear as day, unfortunately. We went and bought that phone at Best Buy. You're on video there buying that phone, the Cricket wireless phone that you used during this trip. I have you on video there. I have your video on your mom's house. I have video afterwards with Athena leaving.
Casey has made it clear to Levente that they have damning evidence against him. However, he needs him to help him understand the motive for killing his mother. Although Casey doesn't have the right to declare him guilty of his mom's murder, detectives use this as a way of getting suspects to admit their crimes once they're presented with incriminating evidence. But then, Levente wouldn't budge.
Let me show you a few things here, okay? So we can get past that part, because it's more about why, okay?
It's not about what.
Okay. Okay.
I don't understand what you're saying.
This is your house right here, where this is.
Yes.
This is your mom's house.
Yes.
Okay. You understand that pictures caught you along the route. That's your Jeep, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you're telling me about being in Indiana and never leaving and not seeing your mom in January of this year.
No, I saw her in
is
January.
clearly, well, you were at her house on the 24th of October.
I was not in her house. Of October of this year, I was not.
Levente, do you see what I'm showing you? You want to see more? Your pictures of your Jeep was taken all along your route with you in it. Okay? The video at your mom's house show you driving by at 3:30 that afternoon, okay, in your Jeep. Okay? Understand what all this says is that you were. So for you to sit here and tell me that makes zero sense, and it doesn't look, good for you. Okay? What I'm trying to understand is, did something happen when you were there that caused a struggle with your mom?
No.
Were you just mad at her? Do you need money?
No. I don't need money.
So what happened? Tell me what happened. That's the only way we're going to understand this a little bit better. Because you seem like a very intelligent, smart, and a nice person. And something had to have happened that day.
Nothing.
We all make mistakes.
No! I understand everybody makes mistakes, but no,
With the evidence in front of him showing that he was traveling between states with his phone in his car, Levente still vehemently denies going to California or even seeing his mom. Casey then tells him about his calls to his mother on the 24th, which she then told her friend about despite lying that he only spoke with her on the 26th. But Casey tells him that the call was from the other phone that he used during his trip, and that he has him on tape buying the burner phone at Best Buy.
That's your Jeep?
Sure.
Okay, that's in Texas.
Okay.
Okay, that's where your phone is hitting a tower.
Okay.
That's where the phone you bought at Best Buy is hitting a tower. Okay? Right there.
Okay.
Where you picture your Jeep.
Yes.
You in it. Okay?
Okay, I understand.
Okay. Help me explain that.
I can't because I don't know, PC.
Okay. So this is on the 23rd when you're driving out to California.
Okay.
Okay. This is on the 25th when you're driving back to Indiana.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand.
Like everywhere you went,
Yeah.
you got captured on video.
Okay.
Okay. You understand that? You got captured everywhere you went.
And you have
there's
a
video
proof.
surveillance of you at the house. I'll probably show you that too. Okay? The Best Buy is really not that important. I know you had that phone and you called your mom from it because her own records show it, your records show it, and she tells her friend about talking to you right after that phone call from that phone. Okay?
Okay.
You're on video at her house, Levente. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
At this point, Levente realizes that his whole story of not leaving Indiana was a bust, so he maintains that he didn't kill his mom, instead of explaining how and why his car was caught in front of his mother's house on the day of her murder, citing that he had no reason to kill her. Levente eventually admits to buying the burner phone and going to California, but comes up with an explanation that throws Casey off, despite his vast experience as a detective.
I was in California. But I didn't go see my mom. I didn't see her. I drove by her place.
What'd you do?
I went to Los Angeles. I went to Los Angeles to, and I could prove it to you. I could show it to you.
Okay.
To buy marijuana.
Okay.
And I bought medicinal marijuana. I went to it's on Venice Street in Los Angeles. That's why I went to California.
Okay.
And
How do you show that to me?
How?
Yeah.
I have the weed in my house.
Okay. And how much weed did you buy?
About $120 worth.
$120 worth of weed?
Yeah. It's 15 grams.
Okay.
That's it.
So that's why you came to California?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't know anyone here except Hannah. Hannah is not going to go ask people. I'm not going to go ask other people either. She's in medical school.
Okay. What did you tell Hannah?
That I was going to Chicago.
And why did you tell her that?
Because she doesn't like it. She doesn't like, because she's in medical school, she's worried about, like, first of all, this is Indiana. They don't have any, if I got caught smoking weed here, she would get in trouble. Because of that, I kind of kept that a secret from her.
Okay.
Levente has just proved that he is a pathological liar, but he has also demonstrated how well thought out his plan was from the beginning. The story of buying marijuana wasn't some random cooked-up story because he probably bought that on the way as a cover story in case they would prove that he was in California on the day his mother died. Also, Casey had stated several times how smart Levente was, but of all the scenarios that he might have played out in his head, Levente didn't see what happened next coming.
With the exception of the shirt.
All these are the same clothes you went there when you killed her?
Yes. No, I didn't kill my mom. No. These are the clothes that I wore to California. I didn't see my mom that day.
What happened when you went to her house later that day?
I drove to her place down Main Street, and then I circled twice, saw a guy in a pickup truck washing his car. He lives there, I'm assuming. Then I went back to the Main Street, and then you know how at the end of the Main Street it goes to the beach?
Mm-hmm.
Sat there for a little bit, called her. She didn't pick up, called her a couple of times. She said she was running errands. She eventually picked up.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was going to be home later that evening. And then I drove home. I literally drove home.
Okay.
And
you know your phone goes back to her, that area by her house? You know your phone doesn't leave then, right?
Okay. Yeah, because I was on the phone. I called her. And I talked to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that.
And you went back to her house?
No, I didn't. No, I literally left.
While he got comfortable in his lie about not seeing his mom that day, the detective was able to poke holes in his claims. For one, he claimed he left Grover Beach as he discovered that his mom wouldn't be home until later that evening. But his phone signal showed that he was, in fact, still in Grover Beach at around 11 p.m. Levente knew that he had talked himself into trouble with his elaborate web of lies. But he also knew that the police would need a motive, which would determine the severity of the sentence, or even if he was going to walk away from it at all. So he made sure that this part of his story stayed airtight.
I get it. Like, I lied about going to California. I understand that. Obviously, that makes me a suspect. What you didn't ask me is, and you did, but I can't give you an answer because there is literally no answers why I would do such a thing. I have no financial reasons. I never had a bad relationship with my mom. I mean, like, you have arguments with family members, but that's it. Mm-hmm. Nothing that escalates to such a point. There's really no reason. Absolutely no reason. I have no criminal record. I've never done anything bad in my life, with the exception of, like, getting detention in high school or whatever. But I don't have, and parking tickets. But that's it. So it doesn't make sense for me to go from 0 to 60 overnight.
Now, Levente had admitted to everything the digital footprints suggested, except the conclusion that they pointed to him killing his mother and the motive for doing it. So Casey tries to make him understand that.
Listen, what I want is you to listen for a second.
I'm listening.
Okay. There's two things, Levente, that I know, okay?
Yeah.
One, it's not about who did it, okay? I know you did it. But here's what like the jury's gonna see, or Hannah's gonna see, more importantly, is you either, one, you're a cold-blooded killer who has no remorse and killed your mom, planned it, did it. Or 2, something would happen there when you went to see your mom that I don't know about that you cannot fill in. And that's the only thing that the jury or Hannah needs to know about you.
No, because...
You understand that?
I do.
So,
I do.
are you a cold-blooded killer? Or did something else happen in the house?
I never...
What else happened in the house then?
I never saw...
No, that's we're past that, Levente.
Are
All
we?
right, we are.
How are we past that?
We're way past that.
Prove it to me.
I'm telling you, I've already proved it, okay, that you did this. Okay?
No, you haven't.
Okay. To me, Levente, you need to be able to explain this. Because no one else is going to understand. You're the only one who can give us that part.
Look, Casey, I told you, there's no reason for me to hurt my mom, okay? You want to brand me as a cold-blooded killer?
I don't want to brand you as
or the jury? Fine, but we'll see. But you don't have the evidence.
Did something else happen there?
No, because I didn't see my mom. I did not see her, like, face to face, like, interact with her. I did not see her that week. I wanted to surprise her. I wanted to tell her in person that she is going to have a daughter-in-law.
And did you tell her that?
No, because I didn't see her. I was going to tell her in person. She's been having a tough time with her neighbors. So I wanted to give her some happiness for once. And I wanted to tell her. Not over the phone, face to face. And then tell her, look, why don't you take a week off or something like that in December so you could come to Florida and meet her parents?
I've watched the videos with my own eyes. I've looked at all the cell phone tower data. I've looked at all the license plate reader.
Yeah.
I've watched her apartment complex. There's video all around it.
I'm not denying.
Okay, and you go in that house. You go in that house on video.
I don't.
Casey finally felt he had had enough of Levente's lies and deceit, so he decided to lay it down for him one last time before charging him with the murder of his mother.
Parked up the street, okay, and you walked down to the house. And then afterwards, you walked back up to your Jeep, and you get in your Jeep and you drive, and you leave the area at about 11 p.m., okay? You get rid of her, or turn her mom's phone off right after that, okay? So her phone goes with you, with your Cricket phone and your other phone. We're communicating with towers right from her house, okay? You took her phone with you.
I did, because I didn't see my mom. I didn't go in the house. Look, I'm not in denial.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not like I don't have dual personalities or anything like that. I'm telling you.
Do you understand that the story you gave me about driving 64 hours across country
I know what's
to buy marijuana, $100 worth?
I know.
Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds?
I do know.
So then you should understand. You're a smart guy.
I do know. No, I understand you completely. And the thing is, like, I can't say anything otherwise.
No, listen to the rest of it.
Okay.
Okay, you bought a prepaid burner phone from Best Buy so you can make this trip to contact your mom. I want you to tell me what each thing means.
Okay. Burner phone, traveling across California, lying about the trip to a detective, not telling anybody about it, including girlfriend, $100 weed, and then visiting mom's house. I know what it looks like. A phone, that's weird. Like, why isn't he just calling from his phone? Oh, probably he knows that. Cell towers, and I think I already mentioned how I know the cell towers work. So that's established. Traveling across the country and not telling anyone. That's weird. Why doesn't he tell anybody? Okay, he has a mission.
Casey leaves Levente in the interrogation room while he attends to other things. And you see, while Levente was being questioned, the police executed a search warrant on his apartment and found documents that threw another wrench into one of his many lies. The documents also gave Casey what he would need from Levente the whole time: a motive.
I don't have that. Because it's this. No, it's not this. I don't have that. I just have the property titles.
That's at your house.
I only have the property titles.
You're saying
I don't have any will or testament. I don't have that.
That's at your house.
I don't have that. I don't have that. I don't have that. I'm telling you right now, I don't have it.
They told me they just found this in your...
I don't have that. I really do not have that. I only have property titles.
They found a copy of his mother's will in his apartment, suggesting that he knew that he would be the sole beneficiary of his mother's wealth in case of her passing. Further investigation into Levente's finances showed that he was in a serious financial crisis at the time. Despite his claims of doing well financially, he was charged and booked for the murder of his mother.
Is there anything you want to tell me? Now's your opportunity.
No, I have nothing else to say.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and stand up and take your jacket off for me? I want to place you under arrest for the murder of your mother.
They also found a tablet at his home which contained disturbingly specific Google search strings like murder in Grover Beach homicide 9th Street, and even his own name was linked with one of them. This wouldn't have raised any suspicion if the timing and place weren't wrong. The searches were also made a couple of hours before the welfare check, meaning he knew she was dead and was probably checking to see if the murder had been tied to him in any way. Secondly, the tablet connected to a free Wi-Fi at a McDonald's in Arizona. They then got a subpoena to view surveillance footage that showed Levente's Jeep entering and leaving the McDonald's premises. The footage's timestamps lined up exactly with the cell tower pings that traced his cross-country route to Indiana. Also, when they looked into his records, what they found painted a picture of a man on the brink of a serious financial predicament. As opposed to his claims of working with Disney, Levente was unemployed, had lost a large sum of money in a trade that went bad, and was living off the annuity that he received from his mother's deceased boyfriend. He had lost $49,000 in stock trading, was owing the IRS $12,000, and had over $70,000 in student loan debt. This was also a man who was looking to get married to his girlfriend the following year. To detectives, Levente saw his mother as a means to a financial lifeline throughout her life, insurance, and inheritance, without having to wait or struggle for years.
And we have a follow-up on a homicide case in Grover Beach. The son of the woman found stabbed to death in her home last month has been arrested and charged for his mother's murder. KSBY News reporter Alexa Bertola joins us live from South 9th Street with the latest. Alexa.
Kathy, friends tell me that the victim and her son were not close. In fact, she only mentioned him a couple of times.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock that it was her son.
26-year-old Levente Lazar has been arrested for killing his mother. The DA's office is calling the death of Athena Valentini premeditated.
She rarely spoke of him.
When she did speak of her only child.
Just implying that that they were distant in their relationship.
Levente's trial had made it to the public, with people following closely to make sure that justice was served for a woman whom her neighbors described as loving and passionate. According to the coroner's report, Athena was attacked with a knife from behind and died on the floor before her body was moved to the bed. On December 11th of 2019, 1 year after Levente was charged, the jury sat down to decide Levente's fate. With overwhelming evidence against him and refusal to state what really happened at the murder scene, the jury returned after a few hours of deliberation and returned with their verdict.
The matter of the people of the state of California versus Levente Laszlo Lazar, probation is denied. The defendant will be sentenced to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitations as follows. For his conviction on 10/21/2019 by a jury's verdict of guilty as to count 1 in violation of Penal Code Section 187(a), willful, deliberate, premeditated murder in the first degree, a felony, and with the true finding that the murder was carried out for financial gain pursuant to Penal Code Section 190.2(a)(1), the defendant is sentenced to serve life in a state prison without the possibility of parole. For the jury's true finding on October 21st, 2019 to Enhancement 1, that in the commission of the above offense, the defendant personally used a weapon or a deadly or dangerous weapon within the meaning of Penal Code 12022(b)(1), that term be stayed.
He was found guilty of first-degree murder for financial gain, meaning that 27-year-old Levente Laszlo Lazar would spend the rest of his life behind bars. District Attorney Dan Doe addressed reporters outside the courthouse. Athena's life was taken in the most cold and calculated way imaginable, by someone that she should have been able to trust above all others. Today's sentence ensures that this killer will never again have the chance to harm another person. The murder of Athena Valentini proved that there is no guaranteed safety even within one's own family. Valentini had come to America with hope, built a life through hard work, and endured personal struggles, only to have her life violently ended by the person that she had once nurtured and protected. From the moment detectives linked that burner phone to her son, to the painstaking work of tracking his movements and pulling his digital footprint apart, this investigation proved one thing: the truth leaves a trail, no matter how carefully one tries to hide it. Athena's story is now a permanent reminder that justice doesn't erase the pain, but it can provide closure. Her friends, colleagues, and the community that she served will remember her for her compassion that she showed, not for the betrayal that ended her life. Crimes like this don't happen in isolation. They grow in the shadows of silence. If you suspect someone is in danger, speak up. It could be the difference between a life saved and a life taken. If you want more in-depth looks at cases where the truth seemed impossible to uncover, be sure to subscribe, because the next story that we cover might just change the way that you see people closest to you. Don't forget to like and comment on what shocked you the most about today's story. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.